NTC News Tonight is produced at the Northern Television Center by journalism students in the Department of Communication.
Tonight, a local park is in a big debate with its neighbors. Sycamore is making big changes downtown, and NIU students are building a car that could save thousands at the pump. NTC News Tonight starts now.
From the Northern Television Center at Northern Illinois University in DeKalb, you're watching DeKalb County's only television news source. This is NTC News Tonight.
Stonehouse Park in Earlsville is in the middle of a heated debate about the use and capacity of the park. Good evening, I'm Jorge Rodas. Thanks for joining us.
And I'm Fiorela, Kola. The park is a hot spot for war reenactors and concerts, but the noise is causing issues. NTC reporter Paul Farfecchi explains how the park is trying to ease the tension.
At Stonehouse Park, groups like these reenactors rent out the park every weekend so they can hold their events. But some groups may have to soon cut down due to a new capacity rule at the park. Right now, there is no limit on how many people can be let into the park, but a 500-person limit has been recommended by the police. But that limit would be hurtful to the park and the county.
That's going to affect the economy of our business. It's going to affect the economy of the township and the county.
Even if the limit is bad for the park, they must be careful because the reason for these limitations is past problems with the police.
We made some arrests for significant drug activity on the grounds during 2 or 3 of the different events that they had.
And there have also been problems with alcohol and rowdiness. And the police aren't the only people that have problems with the park. The neighbors just down the road also have complaints. The nearest neighbors to the park have complained about the loud noises and people parking in their driveways. But the park is already making changes. One new rule is that concerts cannot go on past midnight, which is one step towards helping their neighbors.
We made some mistakes, and we were aware of that, and we changed our policies regarding that before we heard their complaints. After hearing their complaints, we try to assure them that all of our changes have addressed all their issues.
And according to Steve, the park will continue to host events, even with the new limitations. In Earlsville, I'm Paul Farfecchi, NTC News.
Thanks, Paul. The final decision about the capacity of the park is expected to be made by park administrators early next month.
Well, the fiberglass husky dog that was stolen nearly 2 weeks ago from in front of the DeKalb Public Library has been found in Afton Forest Preserve. The dog, who was part of the Huskies on Parade art project, has chipped ears and a few scratches, but he is in one piece and will be fixed. Library staff plans to meet later today to discuss where the dog should go now that he's back.
The Sycamore Public Library is undergoing big changes. Renovations are currently underway at the library. One of the changes will be to move the circulation desk to the first floor, expand the youth and young adult areas, and create more space on the second floor. The library hopes that the new look and feel will make the whole experience better for visitors.
By providing neat spaces, fun times, and a way to access information and gain knowledge any way that they want to.
The renovations are being funded by grants, and the project is scheduled to be completed in about 6 months.
Well, the DeKalb County Courthouse in Sycamore will also get a new look starting this May. The courthouse is currently undergoing $15 million in renovations. The project allows for a 36,000 square foot expansion. The addition will be 3 stories tall and will include larger offices and a courtroom. A grand opening will most likely take place in August.
Not everyone is happy about the expansion of the DeKalb County Jail. Even though the city of Sycamore has already approved the expansion, residents are unhappy about the restriction the construction will make. Residents that live near the intersections of Exchange and Locust will be forced to no longer park on the street. The restructuring of Exchange Street will be discussed April 16th at the next council meeting.
Well, while Sycamore is shelling out money to renovate their major town buildings, DeKalb is trying to save money even at the cost of getting kids to school. With the cost of fuel at a high, the school district is looking to make more cuts by changing the bus routes. Their plan is to combine and get rid of some of the routes to save money on travel. Now, they also plan to transport high school and middle school students together district-wide. The next board meeting will be held May 1st to discuss the potential savings of the plan.
With gas prices at $4 a gallon, you're probably spending quite a bit of money at the pump.
Now, you normally see cars getting up to 24 miles a gallon. Well, what about a car that could get 2,000 miles per gallon?
One student organization is looking to make that goal a reality. NTC reporter Nicole Gill tells us how.
Students on this super mileage team is working hard for their upcoming competition. Last year, the team took first in the U.S. and third in the world. This team has been working hard all year long.
We've done prototyping, modeling, CNC machining, TIG welding, MIG welding, anything you can think of that goes into a car, we have done here at our shop.
Right now, Noah's working on the wiring of the car. The club hopes to get this car up to 2,000 miles per gallon at the next competition. When this car is complete, teammate Marina Efanov will be the one driving it. She will be controlling the engine to get the best mileage for her team.
We gun the engine for about 5 seconds, 10 seconds, then kill it when we get to a top speed of about 20 miles an hour, and then just let the car coast as far as it can.
They repeat this process until the car makes it around the track. This is a unique opportunity, and everyone on the team puts in a lot of hard work.
Get a chance to not only, come back to school, but get a chance to work on cars while I'm at school is something that's is fantastic for me.
This team is just counting down the days until their competition in Houston. Reporting from DeKalb, I'm Nicole Gill, NTC News.
Thanks, Nicole.
Hopefully they can reach their goal of 2,000 miles per gallon.
Can you imagine getting that many miles per gallon?
I wouldn't mind coming to work. While you're out on the open road, watch out for farm equipment. An accident last week involving a car and a tractor ended in both drivers going to the hospital. Officials are reminding motorists to be alert for an increase in farm traffic the next few weeks. Due to the unseasonably warm and dry weather, many farmers are ready to start planting. So slow down and drive with caution when around farm equipment.
NIU is working on expanding its wireless network throughout campus. The university wants to install Wi-Fi to cover everywhere on campus. They plan to install Wi-Fi in the residence halls first and then move on to popular places like the Home Student Center. Vision 2020 will help fund the project, which will cost about $1.8 million. Less than half of campus currently has Wi-Fi, and NIU officials hope to increase that number up to 67% by fall 2013.
If you're a student on this campus, there is one person you never want to meet with.
Dr. Larry Bowles, who has been in charge of disciplinary hearings for over 30 years, is now retiring. NTC reporter Torian Small sat down with Dr. Bowles for some final words.
I said to my mother, and she died when she was 82, back around 2003. She said, "You doing what you said you were going to do in life?" I said, "Mom, I believe I am." I said, "It's when I move on that my students will evaluate me." I was told by my high school counselor that my future was in the military, and talked to me and my mother and told her that I wasn't college material. So I was interviewing at Northern, and I asked this question of the Vice President of Student Affairs after my interview. I said, if I get this offer and I take this job at Northern, I said, will I be over just the students of color, or will I be, how will I? He said, "Larry Bowles, you'll be over everybody that goes to Northern. If they have the word student in their name, then they'll be under you with student discipline." I expressed to the Vice President of Student Affairs what my philosophy was before he hired me. I told him that I see this office as a part of the educational process, just like a classroom. It's to teach students. But if you say you have 26,000 students, and there are years you didn't suspend anybody, and a busy year with suspensions and exposures might get you up to 25 people sometime. Out of 26,000, you're not out there just cutting heads, are you? The average student only saw me one time. The average student only came through my office one time. So I said to myself, whatever I said to them must have made a difference. Now, whether that's true or imagined, you get me? And when I'm gone from Northern for years and years, the only thing I want the students who came up in my era to say is, when Dr. Bowles was here, he made a difference.
There'll be a celebration for Dr. Bowles. He will be missed, especially by those who never had to see him.
Yeah. Well, we're going to talk later in the newscast about rough weather out east, but here in DeKalb, it's been very nice lately.
Yes, we've been very fortunate. Hopefully, Kristen Schweiner will tell us it'll stay.
Well, yes and no. That sun's going to come in and out throughout the week. We're going to see some sun and some rain throughout the week. But we'll look now at our temperatures for tomorrow in the surrounding area. You can see for our area, tomorrow we're going to have a high of about 63 degrees with that sunshine, and then a high of 70 as far south as Peoria. I have a full forecast for you when we get back. You're watching NTC News Tonight.
Lead paint poisoning affects over 1 million children today. If your home was built before 1978, your kids could be at risk. Log on to leadfreekids.org or call 800-424-LEAD.
Welcome back, everyone. I hope you had a great weekend. It was a little chilly but very sunny. Today, though, we are under a red flag advisory, or a critical fire conditions, for our area here in DeKalb County, as well as some western Chicago suburbs and north central Illinois until about 7 p.m. tonight. What's giving us this advisory is strong winds and low humidity. And what that means for you here in DeKalb is that if you start even a small fire, it has the potential to turn into a large wildfire. So we ask that you don't start a fire today until later in the evening. If you do, make sure you watch that with extreme caution, because it has a very high potential to turn into a large uncontrollable fire. It's a very high-risk situation. We'll take a step back now. Today, what we had, our temperatures that we experienced, we had a high of 59 degrees, which is a little bit below that normal for this time of year. Today is the 4th day of below normal temperatures for our area. Tonight, we're going to expect a low of about 39 degrees, and that's right about the normal temperature for this time of year. Looking out east, we do have a large system that's going to affect New York and Pennsylvania, bringing them some snow. And though it doesn't look like the system is going to have any effect for us here in DeKalb, it will. We have these strong lines of pressure banding down through central Illinois, and our winds generally follow these line patterns. So our winds are going to come from the north, bringing us those cold temperatures that we've been experiencing and what's been making us so cold throughout the weekend and today and into tonight. For tomorrow, that system is going to move out east, though. Our temperatures are going to rise just a little bit. And then Wednesday, we are going to see a warm front in our area coming through north central Illinois, and that's going to raise our temperatures just a little bit, but we are going to see some rain for Wednesday. Tonight, though, we are going to see some increasing clouds, a low of about 39 degrees. As I said before, those winds are coming out of our north, which is bringing us that temperature drop. Tomorrow, though, we're going to have partly sunny skies, a high of 63 degrees, and winds about west-northwest at about 10 miles per hour. And for tomorrow night, mostly cloudy skies, a low of 46 degrees with some calm winds that shift from the south later in the evening. For my 5-day forecast, Tuesday, you can see we're going to see lots of sun with a high of 63 degrees. On Wednesday, the temperature is going to rise to 64 degrees, though we are going to expect some showers for our area. As we head into Thursday, temperatures are going to dip down to 57 degrees, though we are going to see that sunshine. And then Friday and Saturday, temperatures are going to be in the mid to upper 50s with some rain and then a possibility of some thunderstorms for us here on Saturday. That's all I have for you. Back to George and Fiorella at the desk.
Thanks, Kristen. A trial against former presidential candidate John Edwards begins.
And George Zimmerman has been released from jail. Here's what's happening in today's World Watch. George Zimmerman has been released from a county jail in Florida. The Florida Neighborhood Watch volunteer is charged with second-degree murder in the death of Trayvon Martin. Zimmerman is not allowed to have a gun, and he's been placed on a curfew. Officials aren't discussing his location because of security concerns.
Attorneys in North Carolina delivered their opening statements this afternoon in the trial of former presidential candidate John Edwards. He's accused of violating campaign finance laws by using payments from wealthy donors to hide Edwards' pregnant mistress during his 2008 presidential campaign.
Authorities in New York City are back, searching a basement in Manhattan for traces of Eitan Pates, who disappeared while walking to a school bus stop 33 years ago. Last week, forensics teams dug up the concrete floor in a basement used by a handyman at the time the 6-year-old disappeared.
A spring storm is working its way up the East Coast and dumping enough snow to snap tree branches in western Pennsylvania. Some schools have been canceled in the area. Forecasters are predicting as much as a foot of snow in central Pennsylvania and New York State. And those are today's World Watch stories.
Coming up, even disabilities can't leave this basketball team on the sidelines. We'll explain.
When life's this hard, graduating can be even harder. But you can help David and the students in your community make it through by visiting boostup.org.
There was some intense playoff hockey over the weekend.
Doug Rogers is here with sports. And Doug, the Blackhawks really needed a big win.
Yeah, they sure did, guys. Well, the Blackhawks were on the road for Game 5 against the Phoenix Coyotes, and for the Hawks, it was a win or go home. Joel Quenneville looking on, his Hawks needing this game. Midway through the third, Hawks down 1. Nick Leddy from the point ties the game with the slap shot. He gets a good screen from Dave Boland. To overtime, it's Jonathan Toews off the face-off win. Gets a clean look and goes top shelf for the game winner. Hawks win 2-1, staying alive in the series. Game 6 tonight at the United Center should be a good one. After Philip Umber's perfect game on Saturday, the Sox were looking to sweep Seattle in the series. Alex Rios in the 8th dumps a little dinker to the right. This part of a 3-hit day for Rios. He also had 3 RBIs. Sox get the 7-4 win and sweep the Mariners on the road. Reds, former Cubs reliever Sean Marshall in the 9th gets Ian Stewart looking at this bender. Cubs lose the series and fall to 4-12 on the season. They are dead last in the Central Division. Well, NIU broke ground on a new athletic practice facility on Saturday. This is what the new Chesapeake Practice Center could look like when it's finished. The building is named after leadership donors Dr. Kenneth and Ellen Chesapeake. The indoor practice facility will include a full NCAA playing field, a 4-lane sprint track, batting cages, and a long jump pit. The Chesapeake Center is to cost $9.5 million and is scheduled to be completed by fall 2013. And in sports notes today, NIU's 3rd annual sports awards banquet, The Victors, is set for May 3rd at the Egyptian Theater. NIU men's golf finished their regular season placing 17th in the Boilermaker Invitational at Purdue, and NIU baseball lost to Toledo in extra innings yesterday. And now it's time for today's play of the day. Let's go out to Phoenix where the Diamondbacks hosted the Braves last night. In the 3rd inning, D-back Miguel Montero blasts a shot to left field, but Martin Prado makes the leaping catch at the fence to save the home run. Let's take one more look at that one. Prado showing some great athleticism, reaching to make the grab. The Braves go on to win 3-2, and Prado takes our play of the day. And one more thing, guys, be sure to watch the Blackhawks take on the Coyotes tonight at the UC. They're looking to tie the series up at 3 games.
Thanks, Doug.
Yeah, thanks. Now, this next story, one that you did, Doug, it's about more than just a game.
Just because these basketball players are disabled doesn't mean they can't accomplish great things on and off the court.
This is the annual wheelchair basketball game sponsored by NIU's Presidential Commission on Persons with Disabilities. This year, the Rockford Chariots squared off against the Chicago Hornets. But this game is about much more than basketball. George Alfaro of the Chicago Hornets was paralyzed by a gunshot wound at age 11. He believes more people need to know about wheelchair sports.
they'll pass this word on. They'll become advocates for this sport, for wheelchair sports. And if they know somebody in their community with a disability, it creates that awareness to actually say, hey, this is going on out there. I've seen this before.
Aside from raising awareness, the event showcases the players' individual will in overcoming life's hurdles. What we have here is a typical chair used by the players off the court. What we have on this side is a typical chair worn by the players on the court, modified for basketball use. In this chair, they're no longer handicapped. In this chair, they're athletes. Derek Dortch of the Rockford Chariots was born with spinal bifida, but went on to win 3 national championships playing for the University of Whitewater, Wisconsin.
Wheelchair basketball is almost better than watching able-bodied basketball. It's so intense, you know.
George Alfaro feels that the team concept learned through wheelchair sports carries over into other parts of the athlete's life.
By coming out and doing the sport and seeing others, all his peers, motivates him to say, hey, this is not so bad. This is not so hard. You know, I'm going to do this.
Through events like this, Alfaro hopes to reach others who feel no hope in their disability. In DeKalb, Doug Rogers, NTC News.
Wow, Doug, it's amazing what they're able to do with their lives now.
It really is.
Yeah, well done, Doug. Thanks for joining us today, guys. We'll be back this same time tomorrow.
Thanks for watching. Goodbye, everyone.
NTC News Tonight is produced at the Northern Television Center by journalism students in the Department of Communication.